This is the Shoulder Rehab and Strengthening Program. Let's begin with our pendulum swings. Bend at the waist and have your arm dangling out down below you. Swing your arm in all different angles around your body. I like to do one arm at a time, and you can do each side for about 30 seconds each. Notice I'm not arching my back or hurting it in any way. I'm bent at the waist. Just easy moving my shoulder around my body. This is just to warm up the joint. Now we can switch to the other side. Make sure that you're hitting all angles around your body with that shoulder joint. That's great. All finished. Next, we'll move on to our thread the needle stretch. For this one, you'll want to be on all fours, and you can lift your right arm up and behind you and swing it through. Notice I'm doing this at a slow pace. My left hand is underneath my left shoulder, and all of the movements are controlled. You don't want to swing your right arm back. You just want to raise it up and then put it through your left arm to feel a stretch in your right shoulder. You can do that about 5 times per side, and I'm switching to my other arm now. It's important that your gaze follow where your hand is going. So wherever the hand moves, the eyes follow. Done with that movement. Next, we'll move on to the prone YTWs. Lying flat on your stomach, you can raise your arms above your head in a Y formation. Contracting your shoulders, you can lift your hands off of the floor. You can do this anywhere from 8 to 10 times. And now we'll move into the T motion. Notice that my thumbs are facing up toward the ceiling. Again, you can do this one about 8 to 10 times. Lastly, we'll move into the Y formation with our arms closer to our body, but thumbs still facing the ceiling. And this one as well, 8 to 10 times. All done with that one. Next will be our diagonal raise. Here you'll have your palms facing out and your thumbs facing the floor, and you can lift the weights or no weights up so that your hands are level with your shoulders. You can do this one about 8 to 10 times. Making sure that you're always lifting at a 45-degree angle from your body. Next will be front raises. You can do this with weights or without, but lift both of your arms out in front of you so that your hands become level with your shoulders. You can do this about 8 to 10 times. Making sure that your back stays flat and your core is engaged to support you. Next, we have rear delt flies. We'll do this movement about 8 to 10 times. Hinging at the hips, having weights or no weights down in front of us, we'll bring our hands up so that they are level with our shoulders. Contracting our shoulders at the top of the movement and making sure that our back stays flat and strong with our core engaged. Lastly, we have our rotator cuff strengthening internal and external rotation exercises. So there's 2 different videos playing here. The one on the right is playing in a loop. You can do either of these exercises 8 to 10 times, or if you feel comfortable, you can do both of them. On the left-hand side of the screen, I have my elbow close to my body and I'm pulling a band away from my body, causing my shoulder to externally rotate. Next, I'll do an internal rotation. So still on the left side of the screen, you can see that I'm pulling a band now toward the midline of my body, internally rotating my shoulder. You want to do an internal and an external rotation on both arms. Alternatively, you can follow the video on the right-hand side, in which my shoulders and my elbows are parallel with one another, and I'm moving weights in an upward and downward fashion, keeping my shoulders and my elbows steady. You can also do this exercise without weights if that's better for you. Back on the left side of the screen, I've turned around so that you can see what the exercise looks like from the back, keeping my arm close to my body, and I am externally rotating my right shoulder. Again, you can do either of these exercises 8 to 10 times. You can choose the banded version or the weighted version, or you can do both. Next, on the left-hand side of the screen, I'll do an internal rotation with my left shoulder, pulling the band across my body toward my center line. You can attach the band to anything sturdy, like a chair or a couch, a table. That's it for these exercises. Great job. You can consider doing this workout program 3 times.